Hey, morning, Metropolis. It's now 5 after the hour of 6 a.m. in the big monster city.
Come on! Let's get pumped!
Not drinking any fucking Merlot! What can I say? The camera loves me.
Shall we begin?
After you, Junior.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Logged It, episode number 23. Today is the greatest day of the year. It is November 2nd. It is the anniversary of Monsters, Inc., the greatest film ever made. It was released 20 years ago today. And man alive, am I happy to have seen that movie 1,000 times, and I will watch it again tonight after the show. But anyway, I'm Tim. Welcome to the show. We're gonna talk about some movies. It's gonna be a good time. Boatman, tell me your favorite part about Monsters Inc.
Okay, so my favorite scene in Monsters Inc. That's actually really tough because I do love that movie. I think it's got to be using a series of spoons or whatever.
Using mainly spoons.
Yeah.
We dig a tunnel under the city and release it into the wild.
I mean, honestly, anything that comes out of Billy Crystal. Actually, no. My favorite scene in that movie is when the big hand is up and the little hand goes down. The dinosaur will be painted.
You're wearing a Pixar shirt.
I am wearing a Pixar shirt. Oh, on the sleeves, it has. Maybe it's on the other sleeve. On the other sleeve.
Oh, that's cool. It has like the movies and stuff.
Yeah, it has the movies on. Where's Monsters?
Oh, I like that.
Is Monsters?
I want that shirt.
Oh, here it is. It is on the sleeve.
Where did you get that?
I got it at a store called Box Lunch.
Oh, I know of. Okay, yeah, I know of that.
Find them at your local mall. They're awesome. Little pricey, but very cool.
Awesome. I love that. All right, Payson, you're on the show tonight. What's your favorite part about Monsters Inc.?
My favorite scene in Monsters Inc. I know it's a classic scene, but my favorite is when Randall is fighting solely invisible, like in an invisible way, and Mike comes back and is like trying to get like his therapy session in with Sully while Randall is like choking out Sully, and Sully's like, ah! And he's like, okay, look, you don't have to. All right, you know what, fucker, just take that. And he throws a snowball and he hits Randall right in the face.
I think that's exactly what Mike says in the movie. Okay, all right, fucker.
All right, one F-bomb, PG-13 movie, one F-bomb. They got it.
Jack, what about you? You're here tonight. Monsters Inc. You have some Monsters Inc. merchandise in your background. So
Yeah. I love Monsters Inc. It's my favorite animated movie. Honestly, though, yeah, I love it. Big part of my childhood. And if I had to pick one, I really love like when I haven't seen it in a little bit, but when we first meet Boo, when she's like grabbing Sully's tail, just slapping on the ground, and she looks up and she's, oh wait, what the fuck did she say? What did she say, Tim? I'm blanking on the line because it's not Kitty, but
she says book it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm tired. Whatever.
And I hate that I know that, but
this is gonna be fun. I really like a lot of Ensemble movies, so I'm glad to be here. And the question is, how angry am I gonna make Tim with my favorite movie I logged this week?
Ooh, interesting. I like the prelude there. Okay, we're gonna get into the show. We're gonna start the way that we do every week, which is our favorite movie that we logged this week. I actually this week I spent some time watching some movies that I hadn't seen before. I haven't been on the show in a while, actually, a few weeks, so I have some honorable mentions that I'm going to throw out there. But I watched Stillwater, which I know a lot of people saw over the summer and talked about. I think Jack talked about it on this show. Really enjoyed that. I thought that was really great. I saw 127 Hours for the first time this week. Really liked that as well. But the one that I think I'm going to have to go with is actually a new release, The French Dispatch, the new film from Wes Anderson. I like Wes Anderson fine in the sense that He's made one movie that I really don't like, and a lot of people really like it for some reason. I do not like The Life Aquatic.
Oh, I was worried you were gonna say like Royal Tenenbaums, and I was gonna get real sad.
No, so that's the thing, is like the ones that people love, I'm either fine on or meh. Life Aquatic, meh. Royal Tenenbaums, I like it. I love Rushmore. That's probably my favorite one. But I really like Darjeeling Limited, which nobody likes, and so my Wes Anderson is very weird. But I went to see French Dispatch, and I really, really liked it. I didn't know what I was gonna think about the movie based off the trailers and the concept, but the way that it plays out, I think works really, really well. The structure of the movie, how they split it up, and how they're able to get 3 separate stories, also kind of 4, into this movie in a way that makes sense with overarching characters and everything. I really liked it. A lot of great performances all the way around, which is what you're going to get in a Wes Anderson movie. It looks beautiful. The middle chapter is probably the one I liked the best. I thought another week with another Timothée Chalamet performance that I really, really enjoyed. Thought he was really good in the movie, but overall, there's a lot to like here. I think Wes Anderson fans are going to like it. I don't think it's playing in a ton of cities right now.
I think it expanded this Friday. So
it expanded. It's still not here, and that makes me sad.
So if you have the chance to see it, I would recommend seeing it, because I think it's not going to win anyone over. I don't think it's as. Some people are saying, is this the most Wes Anderson he can get? I don't think so. Like, it's definitely Wes Anderson, but it's no more Wes Anderson than like Grand Budapest Hotel to me. So I don't know. I really liked it. Boatman, you haven't seen it, I would assume, based on your.
Yeah, I really, really want to. Like, this is one, the more I hear about it, the more I feel like I personally, I love these kind of vignette movies if they're done well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like very excited for it. I'm mad I can't watch it yet.
Payson, did you get a chance to check it out?
I have not. I'm seeing it hopefully either Saturday or Sunday. We're seeing Eternals on Friday, so that's kind of booked that, but I hope to see it sometime this weekend.
Jack, what about you? Did you get to see it?
I have not. Unfortunately, my theater is not playing it, so I have not seen it.
All right. Boatman, we'll move over to you. Your favorite movie along this week.
This is tough because I don't want to be a douche canoe and steal the movie that I'm pretty confident that Jack is going to pick. So I
feel it, please.
Oh, you want to throw me under the bus? You know what? No, because it's not technically my favorite. That's only my favorite.
Okay, yeah.
That is the first time movie, or my favorite first time watch.
I know where this is.
But my favorite rewatch this week. I watch it every year around Halloween. It's one of my favorite comedies, period. It is Arsenic and Old Lace. Arsenic and Old Lace is legitimately, like, I think one of the funniest movies ever made. Like, the way that the situation basically starts at 11 with this guy's aunts are murdering people. And then it goes crazier from there. Is so brilliant. Cary Grant is like so perfect in this movie. Is a guy basically just losing control over everything he thought he knew in his life. Like, I don't even know what is funnier. With like him running to like stop people from discovering things, or just his facial expressions. He is so funny in this movie. I love the cop who keeps trying to tell him about his screenplay. I love the brother. I love so much about this movie. Just one of the funniest movies you'll ever see.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about this on the show before. I still haven't had a chance to see it, but I know that you love it, Bowman. I think Cody's a big fan of it as well. So as we keep getting further back in history here with movies, I'm finding that I'm liking movies made before 1990 more than I thought I would if they're good. So I'm starting to trust Boatman and Cody a little bit more with movie recommendations. So I do want to check this one out, but I should probably see some, like, other things like the apartment and stuff first. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that. But this is on my radar. I do want to watch this. Payson, what about you?
I have not seen this, but from the amount of times I've heard people say like how good it is, it's one that I really do need to watch. I wanted to watch it this October. I couldn't get around to it, but I'm essentially I'm not waiting till next October to watch it. I'm going to make it more of a priority.
it is absolutely a movie you don't have to watch during October. I think like the Halloween is so like back to the premise that like it's you can watch it anytime.
Understandable.
Jack, what about you?
I haven't seen it, but I tend to listen to older episodes of Your List Sucks when I'm cleaning theaters, and I think this came up on Boatman's Top 100.
No, it was not on my top 100 at the time. Now it would be. It was on Kirk's top 100.
Right. Yeah. That's it. So, yeah, I've been wanting to see it. I've heard a lot about it from like you, Kaleb Koho, on Your List Sucks and all that, but I just haven't seen it yet. But I plan to.
Okay, let's get this shitstorm out of the way first, and let's go to Jack next.
All right. Well, I mean, I've got a few movies I could pick here, but I'm not going to pick my favorite horror movie that I rewatched. It's Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not going to pick a movie that I owe a big apology to, and that's Midsommar. But I'm gonna, yeah, I know. I'm gonna pick a first-time watch, and that's Last Night in Soho. Yeah. As per my friendship with Cameron Holzman, I am legally obligated to like this movie, but just beyond that,
Friendship
this
with
movie is
Cameron Holzman.
so good. Like, I don't understand the poor reviews it's getting. I really don't. This movie is so well shot and edited. Like, and the performances in it are incredible. From Anya Taylor-Joy's small performance to Thomasin McKenzie's fantastic leading performance she gives, and Diana Rigg, for the small amount of time she's in it, it's pretty solid. So like, I really enjoyed it, and like, I know the third act, whatever, there's some really well edited scenes in that one, but my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the first time we go back to the 1960s and she's dancing. Like, it cuts between Thomasin McKenzie dancing with Matt Smith and Anya Taylor-Joy dancing with Matt Smith, and just such a brilliantly edited scene. I love this movie, and I'm sorry that people have big issues with it, but I just like it. So kill me.
I'm not gonna kill you. I will say this was gonna be my pick for worst. I'll pick something else now. Here, and I'll try as hard as I can. I'm not that I try not to be the type of person that doesn't like a movie and then refuses to see anything good about it. I will admit that dance sequence that you were talking about, Jack, is the best scene in the movie by far. It's incredibly well edited, and I was sitting there thinking, fuck, this is really well done. Like, super well done. I don't think there's necessarily a bad performance here. I think that some actors and actresses are given the short end of the stick. Diana Rigg actually being one of them. I think that people are praising her, and she's given like nothing to do. And I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the things that she has to do, I found laughably bad. My main problem with the movie has to do with the spoiler, so I'm not gonna really get into it, but like, without getting into it as much as possible, this movie paints a picture of how the 60s were, and clearly there's a lot of love there, and that's great, but I feel like then the payoff of the movie completely contradicts everything else the movie is saying up to that point, and I had a big problem with that. Do I think it's an awful movie? No, it's not an awful movie. There's a lot of convenience. There's a lot of like things that just like happen that are like, okay, this super convenient. But at the end of the day, my big problem is with the third act. I thought it was a mess. There was one part that literally had me laugh out loud because of how stupid I thought it was. So again, I gave it a 2-star. Is it the worst movie ever made? No. I think it's far and away Edgar Wright's worst movie. But I don't know. I wanted it to work for me. I was really looking forward to it. I would rather, I liked the trailer for this movie better than I liked the movie at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know. I was very frustrated by it. I wish I liked it more. But I didn't. I saw Antlers the same day, which isn't a great movie either. It's fine, but I liked that more. And I never thought I would say I liked a Scott Cooper horror movie more than a Edgar Wright weird mind fuck movie. So I don't know, man. Boatman, you saw this, right?
Yeah, I'm on team. I really like this movie. I understand like why people don't. Like this is definitely one where I get it. It is not a movie for everyone. I think it is a movie that is dealing with a lot of complicated feelings, and I feel like those contradictions that you're alluding to, I would argue that's kind of the point and part of the reason why I like the movie is that it is kind of about the complex feeling that comes from nostalgia. Is what I feel like that it's kind of trying to represent both the good and the bad. But I just really love the aesthetic of this movie. Like I'll be honest, that's like a big draw. Is just everything in the 60s. I just love so much, and I think the performances are all great. And I just think like the psychological mystery of it all from Thomas and Mackenzie's perspective, I actually found really intriguing and really, really interesting. And I really like these kind of psychological horror, how much of it is real, how much of it isn't. Like, I really like that. So that's kind of where I am. It's just a lot of things I really like in movies, but I understand people's problems for it. They just weren't problems for me.
I will say one more thing that I thought of while you were talking about, man. The sound design in this movie is also really well done. The first 23 minutes or so, this is a very little thing and a nerdy thing, but the first 23 of the minutes of the movie, all of the sound comes from the front channels, so you're getting no surround sound the whole time. And when she walks through that alley in the big trailer moment that everybody sees, and she sees the big James Bond Thunderball sign, that's when all the sound kicks in the surround speakers. Really well done. Stuff like that is really cool. I like it when movies do that, so I did appreciate that. Payson, what did you think of Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't really, really like this movie. I think the direction that Wright puts into this film. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry, Cody. No, I think the direction that Wright puts in this film is so much fun and so energetic, like all of his movies. I do think it's probably on the weaker side of his filmography, but I still do have a lot of fun with this. I think Thomas and Mackenzie is fantastic. The way how you are just immediately gravitated to her character and how you immediately feel sympathy for her with being so out of place, I think worked really well for the movie. And yeah, all the dream sequences are both super fun, but also have like a tinge of darkness, which I get if the juxtaposition bothers people. I think it really works for me. If I were to say something I didn't like, I do think when this movie gets like super, super trippy, I don't quite enjoy it as much, but I still do think it paid off for me to the point where I would say I did really, really like this movie. Yeah, I loved it.
All right. Payson, we'll stay with you for your favorite movie of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite movie of the week is a rewatch from my favorite directors working. It's in my top 5. It's one of their most underrated. It's Miller's Crossing by the Coen brothers. I think this film is excellent. I think it's one of their quieter movies, probably one of their least Coen-esque. Like, there's not as much like humor in this one. It really is just a great crime drama of this guy named Tom, played by Gabriel Byrne, who's floating from crime boss to crime boss, trying to essentially just stay alive. I think the score in this movie is the best score in any Coen Brothers movie. Just the way how it uses just French horns and bagpipes, I think is just excellent. I think it's gorgeous. It's the last one that was shot by Barry Sonnenfeld, even though it looks like it was shot. Wow, that was the most fucking nerdy thing I've ever said in my life. Moving on.
No, it isn't.
Okay, that's fair. But no, I think this movie is shot beautifully. I think the cast from Finney to Polito to Turturro. This is the first Coen Brothers movie that starred John Turturro. I think he's excellent as like this slime ball that everyone that is related to someone important. So he thinks he can do things and get away with them. But the second the shit starts hitting the fan, he starts realizing how bad in the water he is. No, I just love this movie, and yeah.
I've talked about it a lot. I'm very hit or miss on Coen's. I haven't seen a lot of their movies, but the ones that I have seen, I'm very much in either I really like it or I really don't. So I have no feelings about whether to or not watch this movie. I will watch it eventually, and I will feel the way about it. But
I think you would enjoy this one.
I agree with Mason. I think you would enjoy Miller's Crossing. I think you'd like the crime gangster elements of it all.
Cool.
It's more drama than comedy, is what I will say.
The last Coen Brothers movie I watched, I really didn't like, and I know that Payson loves it. So,
A Serious Man.
A Serious Man.
I think you would hate that one. No,
that is not a Tim movie.
Tim would hate that one.
Yeah.
Boatman, Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, I really like Miller's Crossing. I just love the way Tom Hagen is double crossing everybody. Like, that's just the way he is playing everybody off of everybody, and he just comes so close to screwing it all up, and it just all of the complex dynamics of this underworld is so cool. I love John Polito. I think he might. Like, I go back and forth in terms of, like, John Turturro and John Polito, like, what is my favorite supporting performance in this movie? Albert Finney's also great, but, like, Polito bursts off the screen in this movie when he's yelling, like, great. He's not in the movie very much, but I really like Steve Buscemi's little bit part in it. I think he's a lot of fun. Marcia Gay Harden's great. I love the aesthetic of this movie. What's the rumpus, Tom? Like, it's so great.
The dialogue in this movie is so Irish. Like, it just has like a great Irish feel, and yeah.
Jack, have you seen it?
I have seen 4 Coen Brothers movies, and none of them are this one. By Payson's description of John Turturro's character, the way he started that description sounded like Percy from The Green Mile, and there is no character in film that I hate more than Percy. But then Boatman said that Steve Buscemi's in it, so maybe I'll watch it.
That's fair. All right. We will now move on to our least favorite movie that we logged this week. I actually didn't watch a ton of bad movies. There's one I watched that is real big booty, terrible ass, but it's a Fandom movie. I watched it to study, and it's Elektra. I don't have much to say about Elektra that I haven't said about many other films I've talked about that I've watched for studying. But it makes me sad that I live in a world where I've seen like 6 Coen Brothers movies, but I've seen Elektra 4 times this year. So, that's the world I live in. Rob Bowman, you fucker. You made a movie I hate. I don't really have much else to say. Boatman, Elektra.
I have not seen Elektra.
That's fair. That's fair. Payson.
I have not seen Elektra, but I currently queued up Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. So I will be listening to that after log.
Fuck you, Boatman. Daredevil slaps. I wasn't here last week.
Oh, Daredevil's
not a good movie. I'll give you the Evanescence song Rock.
It is the 2000s comic book movie camp that I love from that age. But
that aesthetic does not work for me, like, at all.
Well, I was like 9 or 10 when that came out, and you were like 2, right? So
I was 3.
So that
potentially 4, depending on when it came out.
February 2003.
Okay, I was 3.
Jack, Daredevil, or no, Elektra.
No, I haven't seen Elektra. But all I've heard of it is Thomas Scully talking bad things about it on Worst Fandom Movies. So that's all I know.
That's true.
Would it
All
crack
right.
the top 10 worst?
It was his number 10, I think.
No, I was asking Tim. Would it crack?
No, probably not. Honestly,
that's fair.
Wow.
It's a 1-star movie, but it's like there's a lot of other bad ones. Okay, Boatman, your least favorite you logged this week.
My least favorite movie I logged this week. I'm in a similar situation to you in that there's really nothing bad I've logged this week. And literally there's nothing I've rated below 3.5 stars that I've watched this week. So I have to pick a movie I had a really fun time with. So apologies to this movie. It is literally the least favorite. Muppet Treasure Island is a really fun movie. Like, I enjoyed Muppet Treasure Island. But, like, at the same time, in terms of Muppet canon, it's not, like, one of my favorite Muppet movies. It is... I'm not big on, like, the Treasure Island story to begin with, so, like, that's kind of part of it. But Tim Curry is so much fun in this movie. I wish they would have maybe gone just a little bit more Muppetier with it. It just, there are some points where it just doesn't quite feel like Muppety enough, I guess. I don't know. But Tim Curry's really fun. I don't know. I don't love Miss Piggy in this one. I feel like that doesn't like the third act kind of falls apart once they actually get off the boat. But Tim Curry's a whole lot of fun. Like I think Tim Curry just should always be with the Muppets. Like he is a Muppet, if we're being honest. Like he's so much fun. Like Fozzie's not in this one a lot, and I love Fozzie. Scooter's not in this one at all, and I love Scooter. So like,
you are Scooter.
I am Scooter.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Muppet fan. This probably ranks like my second least favorite Muppet movie. I still like it, but yeah, it's not my favorite by a large margin. Although it has one of my favorite Muppet movie moments, which is Jiminy, Jimmy. I'm not Jim. He's Jimmy, Jim. I love that scene very much. But yeah, the movie's fine. There's some good songs in it. I really like Kermit in this one, actually. And I like Gonzo and Rizzo in this one quite a bit. But overall, yeah, it's lower tier Muppet movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. But yeah, I would agree with pretty much everything Boatman said. Payson, Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah, this is a fun one. Like everyone said, it's not one of the better ones, but still a fun movie. The Muppets are almost always it at least gives you somewhat of a good time. Tim Curry's excellent. Yeah, Gonzo stand for life. So let's go.
I do love the great Gonzo. Jack.
I can think of two movies that have something to do with the Treasure Island story that I've seen. One of them is Journey to the Mysterious Island, and the other is Treasure Planet, which is great. So I haven't seen this one, though.
If by great you mean bad, then sure.
It's fine.
I hate Treasure Planet. Payson, your least favorite movie log this week.
Yeah, I didn't come on here wanting to piss you off, but you talked about it. I've been going through a Wes Anderson rewatch. I like almost all of his movies, except for one specific one. I'm not a fan of Darjeeling Limited.
Oh, okay.
There's just something about that movie that I just don't think connects with me. I don't find the characters like particularly interesting. Like I get that he was really going for like a brotherly dynamic between all three of these characters, but I just there's something that was just missing. Brian talked about this earlier last week, where some actors just kind of get like how to say a certain director's like dialogue, some of them don't. I think Owen Wilson really knows how to do Wes Anderson stuff well. I think Jason Schwartzman knows how to do Wes Anderson stuff well. This might be a hot take. I don't think Brody is that great in this movie, nor in most other Wes Anderson movies. I think he's kind of out of place. I get it, he's an Oscar winner and everything, but that's just my personal opinion. I genuinely just find this to be kind of like a slow-paced movie and boring. Thankfully, it's short, so you get out of the way. But like, yeah, of all the movies in his filmography, this one is easily the most forgettable.
I don't disagree with that it's one of the more forgettable ones because I've only seen it once, and the point is, the time I saw it, I enjoyed it, and I think I went in with super low expectations because everybody had said that it was the one that people don't like.
And I don't even want to get into the other like more serious stuff that you could talk about how this movie uses different cultures. I don't want to get into that, but yeah.
Sure. I don't, like I said, I don't remember. I've seen it once. I liked it then. I like Adrian Brody though. I remember I disagree with you there. I think he's good. I actually really liked him in The French Dispatch. He has a line that made me laugh out loud so hard, and it is not a spoiler in the slightest. But there's literally a part of the movie where a title card comes up that says 3 months later, and then it's just Adrian Brody's face where he says, "It's been 3 months." And I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but it fucking killed me. I think I like him in these movies. I thought he was great in French Dispatch. I liked him in his other roles in Wes Anderson movies. So including this one. So I remember enjoying all three of the leads. I think you're right, though. Owen Wilson and Jason Schwartzman definitely know what they're doing when they're.
Oh, I would say Owen Wilson gets Wes Anderson more than any other actor, even more than like Bill Murray.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Boatman, Darjeeling Limited.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
One of the few Wes Anderson movies I have not seen.
Okay. Jack?
I have seen 3 Wes Anderson movies, and none of them are this one.
All right.
I just love how you start every time you're about to say you haven't seen a movie, you're like, I've seen this amount of movies, but not this one.
Okay, Jack, your least favorite movie along this week?
I mean, I much like you guys, I just haven't really seen a whole lot bad movies. But this one, I did watch Midsummer to prep for this one, but I ended up really liking it this time around. I don't know why, but I did. But no, I'm going to go with Halloween Kills.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible movie, and especially in the Halloween franchise, it's one of the better entries, I think. But like, that's not a high bar. But like, no, it's just kind of a mess. It's very much the middle chapter in a trilogy, and you can feel that. But there are, though, some great kills in this movie, I thought anyways. And Michael Myers, as always, is a whole lot of fun. But the one thing this movie did give me some joy doing was I got to dress up as Michael Myers for 3 days while this movie was in our theater for the Halloween weekend. It scared the shit out of everyone that walked out of the theater. It was so much fun. The movie's not great, though. It's fine.
Movie's bad. I don't like this movie. I'm a big Halloween fan. If you didn't know, I really, really like the franchise, even some of the bad ones. One of my favorites being The Return of Michael Myers, which is not a great movie, but I love it. I just had a lot of issues with the story in this movie. I didn't love the direction they took with some of the characters they brought back. I thought Anthony Michael Hall was not good in this, and what they do with the Tommy character, while better than whatever the fuck they did with Paul Rudd back in the 90s, didn't dig it here. I think I was talking to Cody about this. I think they did something in this movie. They turned Michael Myers into Jason Voorhees, and I hate that. To me, Michael Myers is the boogeyman. He is the Shape. He is the guy who will stalk babysitters and then kill them randomly for no apparent reason. And he just didn't feel that way in this movie to me. That's a preference thing. That's a personal thing. For some people, it works. It didn't work for me. I thought the kills in this movie were over the top and gruesome to be over the top and gruesome. And didn't really fall in line with the Michael in this timeline of the movies. The Rob Zombie Halloween, I'm on record saying I like a lot. People don't. I get it. I understand why you don't. That movie's grotesque and over the top, and I'm fine with that because it's not the same Michael Myers. To me, he just didn't work in this movie. This movie didn't work for me. Now, I've also said, on the other hand, I like where they're going. At the end of the day, the movie ends, and I was like, okay, this sets up something cool for the next one. If they stick the landing, maybe I'll feel different in next year or 2 years, whenever the next one's coming out. But as of right now, not a big fan of this one. I will watch it again and probably find something to like about it. But I watched it the once opening night, and I didn't have a good time. Boatman, I would be shocked if you had seen this.
I have not seen it, and here's the thing. One person told me I would actually kind of like this, and then 2 people told me I would hate it.
Was it Kaleb Koho who told you would like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking. Shocked. Who told you would hate it?
You and Cody.
Oh, smart. Okay, we're smart people. Listen to us. Payson, you saw this, right?
Yeah, add me to the people that would say, Boatman, you would not like this. No, I think this is a bad movie. This, to me, is just, like, kind of like the epitome for me of, like, lazy, just bad slasher movies. I think it takes some very weird choices. I don't think this is a spoiler. All I will say is you spend a lot of time on characters that I don't think you would personally care. Most people would personally care about. At least I didn't care about. While the other characters are kind of sidelined through the majority of the film. And so when I'm just watching nameless people sort of fight off against this shape or this unstoppable force, I'm just not that interested. I can clearly tell it wanted to say something like kind of important, but it never fully got there for me. Yeah. Because it always still wanted to be an over-the-top gory slasher movie. And I think either of them is fine if David Gordon Green would have committed. I personally wasn't even that big of a fan of the 2018 one. I enjoyed that one. I don't love it like some people do, but that one makes, but this one makes that one look much, much better. And what you were saying about the twist, what you were saying about the end, I was super excited. At the end, it makes you seem like it's going to do something like insane. And I was like, okay, I'm really down for it. And then it just decides, no, we're just going to do the same thing. So. That's
I see where you're coming from that. Yeah, I think this movie is at the end of the day, I'm going to compare it to Star Wars, which I think is a little unfair, but I'm going to. There are people who love the original Star Wars trilogy, and nothing else will ever top that. And I'm kind of that way with Halloween. Nothing is ever going to reach that original movie. So no matter what they do, I'm always going to be a little disappointed. And that's how I feel about Star Wars to this day. And I think it's kind of the same way. The people who are going in and this is maybe their second Halloween movie, or they just rushed and watched the 2018 and the 78 before seeing this one, probably will have a good time and will enjoy the movie and like it for what it is. And that's fine. And then there's the people who, are big fans of that original movie, and this just doesn't hold a candle to it, so it frustrates them more. It's one of those weird movies that I think is going to go down as like just a weird entry in the series overall. So
I will say the best thing that this movie gave us is Mike Hanley just working the phrase "evil dies tonight" into any possible conversation.
That's accurate. Okay. What movie did we add to our watch list that we are most excited about?
Excited about. Oh,
did I freeze or did Boatman? He clicked off of something. He clicked out of the show. That's funny. So what I'm gonna say for mine, I think I've actually said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Cody recommended Carlito's Way to me. I've not seen it. I just bought it. It was on sale on 4K, so I picked it up. I'm going to watch it. Very much looking forward to seeing that. Cody knows my taste very well when it comes to movies, so he said I'd like it. I trust that. It's got the Pachin in it, so I'm pumped. Jack, what movie did you add to your watch list that you're most excited about?
This week I haven't really added a whole lot to my watch list, but I think this was this week. Might be a little older, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with The Others, which
Ooh.
I've heard good things about. I've never seen it. I've been avoiding the end of it like the plague, because
Yeah, don't let it be spoiled for you.
yeah, no. Any time it comes up on like a list on YouTube, I'm like, nope, skip. No, I don't want to know that. So, but I think I've done a good job of that. So yeah, excited to watch that one if I can find it somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's on. You could probably find it to rent or buy on streaming somewhere. That's a great movie. Payson.
First of all, I want to say I love the nickname of the Pachin. I'm going to start using that. That's a really good one. But in second, my favorite time of year started, or one of my two favorite times of year, and that is the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale, where all Criterion Blu-rays are 50% off. And I picked up this one for my first purchase. It is Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. I have heard so many incredible things about this one. It is not a samurai film, which is I think what Kurosawa is probably most famous for. It is a thriller about, from what I've gathered, it's about a guy who owns a shoe company, and he is front and center in an embezzlement conspiracy because someone kidnaps his son. And it's this whole thriller of like, okay, but if I don't get my son, I might get more money. And from everyone's told me this movie's a masterpiece, and I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah, I knew the sale had started. I forgot. I kind of forgot though. My internet cut out trying to get back in. Okay, Boatman. He just messaged that. I'm looking forward to buying some movies. I might have to pick that one up. Okay,
November 29th.
Yep. The whole month. I'm very excited. Kurt Kolkowski has entered the chat. All right. We're going to move on to the main part of the show. Boatman will get back eventually. I believe in him. I have the faith. We're going to start our Ensemble's movie list. I'm going to go first with a generic choice. Every week, I message Kaleb Koho and I say, hey, here's the topic today. I need a thumbnail. And he sends me a thumbnail. And most of the time, he picks what I'm thinking. So I'm going with Knives Out. That's what the thumbnail was. It was the most recent one I could think of that I really, really liked and enjoyed. This was a movie that has grown on me. There are like the Marvel movies and the Pixar movies and Star Wars and all those big stuff that I love. That is part of the reason why I do fandom. I watch those movies over and over and over again all the time. Rarely do I find a movie that is a movie. A normal movie that I love so much that I could just watch on repeat. This is one of them. I think this movie is so endlessly rewatchable, filled with so many fun performances from beginning to end. Daniel Craig is so good in this movie. Ana de Armas is so great in this movie. The entire supporting cast, including Kaleb Boatman, is so great in this movie.
That was good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My favorite, not my favorite, but one of my favorite moments in this movie is Michael Shannon shoving cookies in Chris Evans' face. He wants some cookies.
I will not eat one iota.
This movie's just overall so fantastic from beginning to end. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I don't want to get the movie's still fairly new. It's only 2 years old, so I don't want to spoil it. But I remember like the twist happening and me being like, "Oh, okay," kind of saw that one coming. But then it works so well the way it's done. It works so well. I'm really excited for the sequels. I hate that they're coming out on Netflix. That pisses me off to no fucking end because I want to see them in a theater, so the theater near me better play them. But I'm really looking forward to it. I just love this movie. Boatman, what do you think about Knives Out?
I loved Knives Out. This is a movie that has just gotten better every single time I have rewatched it. Like the first time I saw it, I really liked it, but I've loved it more and more on every subsequent rewatch because there's just so many little things in the dialogue. They're not even necessarily big story things, but they're just little things that reveal about characters that I just really love. I love all these characters. I think there's just so much going on under the surface. Perfect pick for Ensemble because there's not a bad performance in this movie. Everyone is fantastic here. I think that Craig is obviously super fun. Toni Collette is one of my favorite things in this movie. I think she is like so like she's playing a character that is very like you could come off as like just the worst and very annoying. And I think she plays it in such a way where you still like find her annoying without finding her like I want to shut this movie off annoying, and like where she's still funny. And I think that like I read a tweet about a New Yorker article about you. Like it's little things like that in the hands of a lesser actress that could have come across as like so obnoxious. And I think Collette just knows the exact perfect way for it. I love just everyone in this movie. Perfect selection.
Jason, what about you?
No, I think this movie is excellent. I think it's super fun. I think the cast is working on all cylinders. I think Don Johnson, I don't think people talk about enough in this movie. I think he's really funny. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is excellent. Ana de Armas, I think it kind of, I know she had been in previous things before. I think it kind of introduced most of us to Ana de Armas to see how great of an actress she could be. I want to get that coffee cup that she has at the end because that coffee cup at the end is such a great payoff with my house, my rules, my coffee. I know I can never write that as a question because it's not set, but I want to write that as a question. I can't do it now, but no, I this movie is super witty. Not the greatest screenplay of the 21st century, like some people in this community like to say.
You did backpedal it to original screenplay of the 2010s.
Nice. Okay, nice, buddy. And then but I also think it is a great like fall movie in a way, and it's fun to watch like during this time because I think the iconography really helps the movie. So yeah, Knives Out, excellent film.
Jack, you see Knives Out?
I did 3 times in the theater, and it was great every single time. Saw it with my brother for the first time. That's one of the better movies we've seen together in the theater. It's everything you guys said. It's just incredible. Like I could listen to. I could honestly listen to or just watch a movie with Daniel Craig and his Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn drawl the whole time. Like that.
CSI KFC.
Such a great movie.
The donut whole thing is so good.
It's so good.
I agree. It's a very well written movie. Best original screenplay of 2010s, but it's still great.
The macaw has entered and is giving me a weird look because I'm on the couch. She's very confused. All right.
Can I say something very quick?
Sure.
We were on call with Spence, and Spence thought Daniel Craig's character in Knives Out was named Blanche Dubois, so that needs to be shouted out.
I have always depended upon the time.
Oh my god.
Hey, Stella.
All right, Boatman, your first pick.
My first pick. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the obvious pick. I think this is the greatest film of all time. So it is, of course, the greatest ensemble of all time.
Anchorman 2.
12 Angry Men.
Oh, sorry, I was close.
What did you say?
I said Anchorman 2.
12 Angry Men, that Criterion poster rocks. 12 Angry Men. I think that this is the perfect ensemble in my opinion. There is not like a performance in this movie that is bad. Every single and this isn't like a giant star-studded ensemble. Like there are some ensembles I love that are like it's just name. No, it's like mainly character actors, but these are all like character actors giving their best performances. Like I think Henry Fonda is one of the most legendary actors of all time, and I think he is giving maybe his best performance in this movie. He is like my 5th favorite performance in the movie. Like I think that Lee J. Cobb might be my favorite performance of all time in this movie. The way he goes from like this kind of aggressive friendliness to just pure rage is incredible. I love Jack Warden in this movie. I love Jack Klugman in this movie. John Fiedler is my spirit animal, better known as the voice of Piglet. Martin Balsam. Robert Webber is really good as Juror 12. Let's put it out on the scoop and see if the cat looks it up. I love every single character in this movie has something to do and some great little moment. And I just think this is just one of the best ensembles ever made. There's not a weak link in the chain.
So to be clear, you're not talking about the 90s William Friedkin film.
I'm not talking about that as a TV movie, so not
got it.
show. But I do want to see that because Jack Lemmon as Juror 8 and George C. Scott as Juror number 3 really intrigues me.
I saw this movie in high school. Haven't seen it since. I will rewatch it eventually. I will get there. But I have seen it before, and there are other things I want to see first. But I remember really enjoying it when I saw it in high school. I think recently Cody Newberry yelled at me for having this movie at a 4-star rating, but again, I saw it when I was 17. I don't. That was almost 10 years ago. I can't remember much about it. Payson, 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men is fantastic. Maybe one of. I think you could make an argument that. Oh, I'm echoing. I think you can make an argument that Lumet may have written the 2 greatest screenplays of all time with both this and Network. But 12 Angry Men, the way how the cast just completely works off each other. You already mentioned him. Jack Warden is my personal favorite. I thankfully have never been in a circumstance that had this great of stakes, but I have been the Jack Warden character so many times in my life where I'm just like, look, I got things to do today. I'll just go with the popular thing if we can just get out of here quicker. And I think he just plays that character so well. Lee J. Cobb is fantastic. Everyone else is incredible. I know how much you love it. Yeah.
Bowman's dying. Jack, 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
This movie is kind of perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. 100%. I don't have a bad thing to say about this movie. It's, incredible. Like I kind of called this before the show that you were gonna pick that Boatman was gonna pick that, and I thought you were gonna pick something else, but now I'm gonna pick what I thought you were gonna pick. So it's a good one.
Payson, you get to pick next.
When I got this list, I knew exactly what I was going to take. It's probably my favorite ensemble of all time. It's Boogie Nights. Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights. Every single cast member to me in this movie is firing on all cylinders, whether it's Burt Reynolds as Jack Warner, whether it's Don Cheadle. I think Don Cheadle is easily the most underrated performance in this movie. Not enough people talk about him, just this guy that you want to see succeed. If I had more room, I would do the whole thing he does in the stereo shop. I'm not going to do that. Philip Seymour Hoffman just maybe has 20 minutes of screen time, and he captivates you immediately. I think most people, when they think of this movie, they think of the I'm an idiot scene in the car where he's just like, man, I'm such a moron, and I can't believe I did this. My favorite performance in the film is Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore as Amber Waves, as just this drug-addicted porn star that has just failed. Like, she's had her daughter taken away, and she wants to get her back, but she just can't get over those personal struggles and demons that she has. I think is excellent. And of course, I wish John C. Reilly did more roles like this, where he's dumb, but he's so endearing, and there's still just so much to it. And I could go on and on. William H. What?
Oh, I feel like that's a lot of his performances.
Yeah. Understandable. Yeah. William H. Macy is incredible. Mark Wahlberg is, of course, incredible. One of the first leading roles he ever did. I know he doesn't because he got super Jesus-y, but I do think this movie is very, very excellent. And just hearing all the behind the scenes stories of how this cast really came together as a family on this movie, I think really helps this movie. And it's just a movie about these people that they found this weird thing that they're all in porn, and it just sort of connects all of them. And I really, really love it. And I just love this cast.
I love this movie. I think this movie is fantastic. It's probably my favorite PTA. I used to think it was Punch Drunk Love. I think I like this more. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this movie. And I've actually only seen it, I think, twice. I watched it I went through all of PTA's movies before Phantom Thread came out. So that would have been the first time I saw it. And then I watched it again with Maggie about a year ago during quarantine at some point. I really like the movie a lot. I think all the performances across the board are great. I agree. William H. Macy's performance and I don't like spoiling things, but something that happens in the movie, like with him, like is just oof every time. The movie is long, but if you can get past that, I think it works. I think it really works for me from beginning to end. And on like you either like PTA or you don't like PTA, but I think this one is one of, despite the subject matter, I think this is one of the more easily accessible PTA movies.
Because that first half is just so fun that it sort of like gears you up for how dark that second half gets.
Yeah.
I think most people are Yeah.
So I'm a big fan. You saying something in this movie is long. Yeah. Hey, Boatman.
13 inches, I treat you well. Is the quote.
Boatman, Jesus.
Yeah, no, Boogie Nights is great. This is a movie I want to watch more because I've only seen it the one time. This was one of my first like rebel movies because I was like 16 and I was like, I'm gonna watch an R-rated movie, and it was this. And, this is because I was like, I really like Paul Thomas Anderson and I want to watch more Paul Thomas Anderson. So, haha. But no, I love this ensemble. Like, this is a great pick. I really like Philip Baker Hall in this. He's not in it a lot, but like whenever he shows up, he's great. Like, there's a lot of just little character actor like moments. Like, not a character actor, but like Alfred Molina.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget Molina?
Yeah, like Alfred Molina's scene is awesome. I don't know if you mentioned Heather Graham, but Heather Graham I think is great. Just the whole cast is fantastic.
Jack, what about you?
I have seen one PTA movie, and it's not this.
Which one is it?
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Film studies, so yeah.
Licorice Pizza. I'm doing the Kaleb Koho thing where I go on Twitter and I haven't seen all the movies that have come out, but I'm predicting what they're going to win at the Oscars. Licorice Pizza, Best Picture. And they're going to create a best song used in a trailer Oscar. Licorice Pizza is going to win.
Wait, no. Life on Mars.
I'm so hyped. Okay. Then we will move on to Jack.
I'm seeing a Paul Thomas Anderson film on my birthday. I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
Okay. So this movie is my favorite movie of all time, and I'm actually shocked that Tim didn't pick it. It's The Return of the King.
You fucker. You ruined the bit. Damn it. Okay, you're fine.
I'm sorry. This movie's incredible. I love this movie so much. The ensemble of characters is incredible. I love Sean Astin in this movie. He is just the best person. Viggo Mortensen's awesome. Orlando Bloom's great. Elijah Wood, even though how much you might hate Frodo, he's given a solid performance. And John Noble, as much as you might hate Denethor, gives a great performance. Peter Jackson did like one of the he made, I think, the greatest movie trilogy of all time. It's just incredible to see on screen. And to the people that say this movie's boring, why do you do this to me? Makes me sad every time I go on Letterboxd and read those reviews. But no, this is just great. I can't say enough great things about it. I love this movie. Favorite movie of all time. No question.
Yeah, I was gonna pick actually I was gonna pick this for my next one. I love this movie. Fellowship was my favorite for a really long time, but this year I decided that Return of the King is my favorite. Yeah, Jack kind of said it. It's the greatest movie trilogy of all time, in my opinion. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter the time or the day. I can fall in love with these characters, this world, over and over and over again. This movie especially, because there's so much payoff for everything, is just great. Yeah, there are few movie scenes in history where I get emotional every single time I watch them. And part of that comes from the fact that usually when I watch this movie, I watch them all in a row. It's been a long time since I've watched any of the Lord of the Rings movies, not at least in the same 4 to 5 day range, if not a day, 2 days. Especially back last year in 2020 during quarantine, Maggie and I watched the whole trilogy, I think, on 3 separate occasions in one day. So, like, these movies mean a lot to me. Jack hit it on the head. It's kind of the perfect movie. Yes, Jack.
One more performance I want to just shine a light on. Miranda Otto as Eowyn. I love her performance in this movie. I really do. So yeah, just one more that I want to say.
Yep. Boatman.
I'll be honest, this is my least favorite of the 3. I'll be honest, I might even like Unexpected Journey more than Return of the King. What?
I'm fine with you. You liking this the least out of the 3 as whatever to me, because I love all 3 so much. But then you took it a step too far.
I mean, I really had fun with that should be more of a. I just really had fun with Unexpected Journey.
I do too. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just not like this one is just probably the least Boatman of like all the Rings movies. And that's kind of the thing, is it's a lot of like battle emphasis. Like the other 2 are the more like story centric, and this is all payoff, and I just prefer the more like story character centric ones. But I get it. I get why this is like most people's favorite and why it won all those Oscars. Like I get it, but it's not. I think the ensemble is good. If we're talking ensemble, I just feel like there's more character moments than like Fellowship and Two Towers. But I get it, because really Fellowship is the one where the ensemble is actually like together for most of the movie, whereas Two Towers and Return of the King, the ensemble is all kind of spread out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Payson, what about you?
I'll keep it short. Movie's amazing. One of the greatest trilogies of all time. Fantastic pick. Andy Serkis probably my favorite part of the ensemble, but that's just me. Yeah, excellent film.
Okay. I'll go next. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a backup, but I searched the interwebs and I found one. And it's actually something I rewatched recently. We've talked about it on the show recently, and I think Payson was there. Boatman was definitely there. It's 2014. Ooh, I might have the year wrong. Nope, it's 2015. I'm gonna change it. I don't even need the year on here. Why am I doing that? Spotlight. We talked about this. I think someone brought it. Queller brought it up as his favorite that he logged that week. Yeah, big fan of this. I rewatched it that night after the show because of us talking about it and me thinking I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, and rewatched it. It's great. The whole ensemble is so good. Not just the Spotlight team, but also you have Liev Schreiber in there doing, I think, a very like subtle but really good performance, and Howard Stark, whose name is escaping me at the moment.
John Slattery. Slattery. Okay.
Sean Slattery. John Slattery. John Slattery. Yes.
Roger Sterling and Mad Men.
Yeah, he's very, very good in this too. I think he's underrated as well. But Ruffalo is the one that just kills me every time. Keaton is so good in this movie. The back-to-back punch of Birdman in this from Keaton is so good. He's just so likable in the movie. Rachel McAdams is absolutely great. Is it Brian Darcy James, I think is his name too, who's the other guy on the team. Really enjoy his performance as
Bad
well.
Brad and Molly's game.
Sure. And the movie, it's a super touchy subject, but I think they handle it so well. Big fan of this one. Boatman, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't have the love for Spotlight that like you and Cody do, but I think it's a really good movie. I like this ensemble. My favorite part of this movie is Liev Schreiber. I think Liev Schreiber is the best performance, kind of this outsider who has this like real passion for this subject, and it is kind of it feels almost personal for Liev Schreiber more than the other. And I just think that's a really interesting dynamic and from the team. But I really like Stanley Tucci in the movie. Billy Crudup is one of those. Billy Crudup is one of those actors that like I feel like just the more I watch of him, the more I realize he just got miscast like to heck after Russell Hammond. Because he is really good in this. I just think he has a lot of like performances where it's like, he's just wrong for this character.
Have you seen 20th Century Women?
Yes, and I do really like him in that.
I thought he was good in that.
Yeah, no, he's really good. Like recently, he's made a lot of good decisions, but like Mission Impossible 3 and Watchmen.
Would you call him a golden god?
Yeah.
All right. Payson, Spotlight, your take.
Spotlight's great. There was a time when I thought this was one of the weaker Best Picture winners of the 2010s. I was dumb. This movie's excellent. I think it really tackles an important subject very well. I think the ensemble works off each other extremely well. Ruffalo, I agree, is the standout. I think Stallone would have been my personal winner that year, but if not for Stallone, Ruffalo is the person I do think would have won Best Supporting Actor if we're not going to nominate Del Toro for Sicario, but that's just me. I've told the funny story I had while watching this movie in theaters. I'm not going to tell it again, but yeah, excellent film.
Jack, what about you?
So I agree with the Del Toro take. Thank you. But no, this movie I've seen once, like 3-4 years ago. I think 3 years ago. I need to see it again. I want to see it again. My perspective of it is a little stilted because one of my family members who has seen this movie hates this movie. They must have just been in a bad mood, but or something. I don't know. I get why they would hate it, but like I think it's a very well-made movie, and so I gave it a more positive rating just based on that. But I need to see it again.
Okay. We'll go to Boatman.
Yeah, my next pick. This is tough. I think I'm just gonna go with another one where this is the movie I just love, and I love all 6 members of the main ensemble. I'm going with Little Miss Sunshine. You got Greg Kinnear as like the hyper obsessive, like positive motivational speaker. Toni Collette kind of just what she does best, the mom holding everything together. Toni Collette is in a lot of great ensemble movies and is usually one of the best things in those ensemble movies. But then you get to like the 4 just top tier performances, or the 3 top tier performances, or 4 top tier. Paul Dano doesn't speak for the first half of the movie, and then his like moment where he starts speaking again, it just made me die laughing when he starts hitting his head on the thing. Abigail Breslin obviously deserves her Oscar nomination for this. Alan Arkin won an Oscar. I don't know if I would have given him the Oscar, but I get his nomination because he is so good. And then for me, the best performance of the movie is Steve Carell, because he finds the humor in it being Steve Carell. But I also think like he gets some really great tragic moments, especially him and Paul Dano on the bridge. Is just a great scene, my favorite scene in the movie, actually. And And Carell is just so good in this movie. I'm really upset he wasn't nominated because he's the performance I would have nominated from the movie, to be honest. But then you also have Bryan Cranston in there for a scene playing a character named Stan Grossman, which is also a character from Fargo. So there are 2 Best Original Screenplay winning films that feature the character of Stan Grossman.
I need to revisit this one. I saw it probably 3-4 years ago, and I liked it. I remember enjoying it, but I didn't love it. I think I was expecting kind of this masterpiece, and it didn't fill that void for me. This was also in a time before I was in this community. I was literally all I was doing was watching movies I had never seen before that people were telling me were great. So it was like a 3-month period where I watched arguably some of the best films I've ever seen. So some of them kind of naturally like went down a little bit. So I do want to revisit this one. I own it on Blu-ray. I'll watch it eventually because I don't think the Macaw has seen it. Have you seen? Oh fuck, she has. All right. Well, then maybe I won't watch it soon, but I do want to watch it again. Payson, your take.
Yeah, Boat might kill me for this. I gotta watch this one. I've never actually seen Little Miss Sunshine. I've heard great things. It seems like a movie I would really like to watch. When I came into this movie and Boat took me onto the writing team, I really wanted to schmooze up to him. So I decided whether I should watch Little Miss Sunshine or The Way, Way Back, and I watched The Way, Way Back. But yeah, I will. I'll definitely put Little Miss Sunshine on a higher priority, knowing how much you like it.
Jack.
I've seen a movie Payson hasn't seen. No, this movie's good. Like really good. It's on my whiteboard here for ensemble movies to pick. But like, I love this movie. Alan Arkin. Right now, out of the Best Supporting Actor nominees that year, I probably would have given it to him. I don't know if I've seen them all, but the Best Supporting Actor nominee of 2006 wasn't even nominated, and that's Jack Nicholson in The Departed. But that's just my take.
It's really good. I wouldn't give him the win.
That's fair. But no, I really love this movie. If Boatman didn't pick it, which I again assumed he would, I would have taken it. So yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. Payson, your next pick.
Yeah, I'm picking one of, in my opinion, one of my favorite like ensemble films of like there really isn't necessarily like a lead of the movie, but I just think everyone works so well, and that is 1989's Do the Right Thing. This is one of the best day in the life movies. Obviously, it takes place in Brooklyn. It's the hottest day of Brooklyn, and just the race relations there are just at an all-time high. I think everyone works super well together. Spike Lee directed it. I also think he gives a very good performance as Mookie, as this pizza guy who, at the start of the movie, he clearly is just someone that just wants to get by, get paid, do his job, and then you see his friend in Bugging Out, played incredibly by Giancarlo Esposito, made probably my favorite performance in the movie. Just gets so mad because there's just not black people on the wall over at Sal's, and just seeing like how just different characters react to that. Either like, hey man, there's different ways to get mad at this, or yeah, we should get mad at this. I think that's great. I think Bill Nunn is excellent as Radio Raheem. He doesn't say too much, but you're immediately like endeared to this character. He just walks around with his radio. Danny Aiello, I think, is like a really good like slow burn of a character of like you don't hate him at first, but slowly throughout the movie you start to see his serious faults, and you see how his son, played by John Turturro, may have gotten those racial prejudices. Samuel Jackson as Dr. Senior Love Daddy. Ozzie Davis. What's Ozzie Davis? Ozzie Davis as the mayor. I think is excellent as sort of like this father figure to everyone in the city. I love Do the Right Thing. I think the cast is incredible, and I think everyone really works together as an ensemble in this film.
I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen a lot of Spike Lee movies. I've only seen 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, 2 of them being his most recent films. So I do want to see this one because I know that Boatman has recommended it to me. And it just came out on 4K over the summer, so it gives me a reason to pick it up and watch it. If I know my Blu-ray collecting skills well, you have the criterion. Great, Payson. If I know my Blu-ray collecting skills well, the 4K will be on sale for Black Friday, so I'll pick it up then and I'll give it a watch. But I haven't seen it yet. Boatman.
I love Do the Right Thing. Yeah, great pick for Ensemble. Like, it's just kind of, I love this look at this neighborhood. I think that's just really neat. You kind of just, you get, like, if you want to see what Do the Right Thing looks like on a day that isn't the hottest day of the year, watch Crooklyn. Crooklyn is kind of a great little companion piece of, like, a very similar neighborhood, but it's just a very different vibe. It's very much like the chill version of Do the Right Thing. But Do the Right Thing is excellent. I really like John Turturro in the movie. I think he's great. I think you mentioned, but Giancarlo Esposito is great. Whole cast fantastic. Rosie Perez really good. Joy Lee, I actually like her in this movie. Spike Lee's real sister playing his sister in the movie. She's great.
Is this like early Spike Lee?
This is his third movie.
Third movie.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yeah, third movie. Yeah.
Third movie.
Jack, have you seen this?
Yes, I have. I saw it with Cameron Holzman at a little indie theater in Edmonton called the Garneau, or Metro Theater. I don't know what it's called right now, but the Garneau. And I saw that, and I think Blind Spotting like in the same week. And the time I watched both those movies was the correct time to watch them. For me, and they're both great movies. And I have Do the Right Thing on my whiteboard as well. Great pick. I love Giancarlo Esposito in it. I think he's great. Probably my favorite performance in it. Although I love most of his performances, especially Gustavo Fring. So,
and
yeah.
Maze Runner,
right?
Nothing. All right. Jack, why don't you give us your next pick?
All right. Well, Quentin Tarantino has made several great ensemble movies, but I'm going to go with his most colorful cast of characters. And in case you didn't get it based on that, it's Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I love this movie. This was like the fourth or fifth Tarantino I saw, and now I've seen all of his movies. I can say confidently it's my favorite of his movies. I love the hell out of this movie. I think the cast is just fantastic. Steve Buscemi, we've talked about him a little earlier. He is my favorite performance in this movie as Mr. Pink. I think Harvey Keitel is great. I really love Tim Roth in this movie. And Tarantino, say what you will about him. I think he's fine in that opening scene. And yeah, it's just a fantastic movie and my favorite Tarantino, and just barely out of my top 10 movies of all time. Great movie.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Tarantino movies as well. Really enjoy it. I got to see this in the theater right before Hollywood had come out, and that really helped me like the movie a lot more. There's not much to be said that hasn't been said, but I will say I do love the way that this movie does its violence. It's very low key, and yet somehow just in your mind you remember it as being like super grotesque, and then you go back and you look at it and it's definitely bloody in parts, but like it's not as bad as I always remember it being. And then I watch the movie and I'm like, it's super well done. Music.
You always see the aftermath. That's kind of the thing, is you never see the actual thing. You just always see the aftermath of whatever it is.
The needle drops are great. I think the movie, it works. It works a lot. It's one of my favorite Tarantino's for sure. Bowman, what about you?
Yeah, I think you want to see how great this ensemble is. That opening scene, just the characters just all kind of establishing their identities and who they are. Mr. Pink establishing himself as the cynical, neurotic skeptic. Mr. Orange, very early on, He is the one who tells Joe that Mr. Pink didn't tip. So that's kind of setting up his character. Mr. White kind of setting himself up as more of just the kind of commanding badass. Joe setting himself up as just kind of grumpy and short with people. Mr. Brown setting himself up as basically Mr. Brown doesn't really do much the rest of that great Madonna monologue is all you need. Mr. Blue kind of just setting himself up as confused older guy, and Mr. Blonde setting himself up as more violent and aggressive. There's just so much that is set up in that opening scene that plays out later in the movie.
What about you, Payson?
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is excellent. One of the first Tarantino movies I ever saw. I've never been one of those people that this has never been like one of my like absolute favorites, but I do really like it. And I do totally get why you would pick this for the ensemble. Yeah, Steve Buscemi's my favorite part. I love how Bo was talking about how Joe just seems really grumpy because if you hear the on-story sets, Lawrence Tierney apparently was not easy to get along with and just did not want to be part of the movie. I think Chris Penn is great in this movie, or as Cameron Holtzman knows him, Miles Teller. I think Tim Roth is excellent, and yeah, Michael Madsen. But yeah, I think this movie is excellent.
All right, Payson, you want to give us a third pick?
You know what? Yeah, I will. To sort of go to not another Tarantino directed film, but another written one, one that I would stack with, honestly, the best of his directed films, True Romance. I think from a just... What the fuck is going on with my dogs? I think just from a pure cast pound-for-pound movie, I think True Romance is incredible. Most people know Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette are who lead this movie, but to me, the supporting performances is what makes the movie. Gary Oldman in that first half of the film, as Drexel, Christopher Walken as like this drug lord, and he has this incredible scene with Dennis Hopper where they talk about stuff that I prefer not to talk about. I think Michael Rappaport is excellent in this film. Blocked on Twitter by Thomas Scully, but I do think Michael Rappaport is great. And rest in peace to the great James Gandolfini. He's one of my favorite actors of all time, and he has a really good bit part in this as well. So yeah, I'm taking True Romance.
I've never seen this movie, and I've been told I would really like it. So I need to. It's on my list, but I haven't gotten there. Boatman, what about you?
I've never seen the entirety of True Romance. I've basically seen a lot of the bits and pieces. I've seen the Walken Hopper scene. I've seen the Gary Oldman scene. I've seen a lot of like the big scenes in this movie, but I've never seen the full thing beginning to end.
Jack, what about you?
I have not seen this movie. I've seen Tarantino, all of his directed movies. I just haven't gotten around to movies he's written but not directed. So like it's on the watch list, I think. If not, I'll add it. But like, yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it. Heard good things though.
Jack, you want to give us the third pick?
Sure. I'm debating between two. But I'll go with this one. This is another one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely in my top 20. It's my favorite movie from 1975. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah, no, I really love this movie, and I think that Jack Nicholson is giving one of my favorite performances in any movie, like ever. I love him in this movie. And the whole ensemble of the other patients at the mental hospital is just you've got a great why am I forgetting his name now? This never happens.
Brad Dourif?
No, but he's great in it too. No, I was thinking of Doc Brown. Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd's got a great smaller role in it. I love Brad Dourif in it. When I realized that that Wormtongue is Billy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I think my brain exploded a little bit. But no, this is just a great movie. I love every single character in it except for Ratchet. No, but no, this is just a great movie. Yeah, Ratchet's one of the best villains in any movie. Love this movie to pieces. Will probably be in my top 20 for quite a while. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw this for the first time last year during quarantine. I watched it and I really loved it. It really moved me. The ending really got to me. I was oof for a while. I'm glad I watched it. I want to watch it again because I think it's one that Maggie would really enjoy. But yeah, it's one of those movies that you hear about forever, and then I finally got around to watching it, and it lives up. It definitely lives up to the hype. It's really good. Boatman, what's your take?
Oh yeah, no, this film's great and the ensemble is fantastic. I don't think Jack mentioned Danny DeVito in this movie, who is like just giving a really good, like, not at all like winky or comedic. Like, this is a performance that could have gone like not great, but Danny DeVito's actually like playing this character like exactly how he needs to be. Nurse Ratchet, like, we need to give Louise Fletcher a lot of credit for playing a really despicable character so well, which I think is really difficult to do and do it realistically without making like Nurse Ratchet doesn't feel like a cartoon. I think that's the most important thing. She feels like a real human that could potentially exist, and that is what makes her all the more infuriating. And I think that's what makes Louise Fletcher's performance so good.
She won the Oscar, right?
Yes,
Yeah, she did.
Payson, your take.
No, I think this movie is incredible. I watched it for the first time this year. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. The entire cast works so well. I think the fact that they shot this in the mental institution and they actually got real patients to play the background parts, I think is really cool. I think Brad Dourif is the unsung hero of this film. I think his character is just this like sort of like wide-eyed like criminal who just Randall takes a liking to and wants to help. And then also, I don't know the actor who plays him, but the actor who plays Chief, I also think he's also excellent. I think the relationship between Chief and Randall is great when you learn that little thing about Chief that he's keeping secret. It's excellent. And no, this movie's incredible. It's both fun to watch, but also super hard to watch. But it really is just very, very well done.
All right. That is our list for ensemble movies. Go over to the Letterboxd account. Multiplex logged it to take a look at the list and let us know what you think about it. Make a comment there. Who knows? We could get into some conversation. It'd be fun. So that's over at Letterboxd. Multiplex logged it. You can go check it out. All right. Last thing for the night. We're going to talk about the new movie of the month. There's a new one. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner from 1967, Boatman? Correct me if I'm wrong. 67? I had never seen this before, so I got to watch this for the first time. I watched it today. I messaged Boatman the minute I finished watching it. It is excellent. This movie is really good, and I had heard. I knew the basic premise of the movie, and that was about it. I wasn't ready for all the powerful performances. I think that I'm going to butcher. Is it Sidney Poitier? Is that Poitier? Thought he was so good in this movie. I've not seen In the Heat of the Night. I know that the whole thing is that they were the same year, right? He turned in like 3 performances that were like insane, and this is one of them. If those other ones are anything like this, like sign me up. I'm a fan now because he's great in this movie. I really liked pretty like even the parts of the movie that are supposed to make you like kind of like a little uncomfortable even had me like super like into it and invested in the story. Like from the moment you see these 2 characters at the start of the film, I was in love with them and invested with them because their chemistry was really, really great. Boatman and I were talking about this. One of the greatest scenes is when Hepburn fires that lady and she's sitting in the car. So good. So that was such a good scene. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. There was nothing that made me need to push this up to a 5-star rating, but it's definitely one of the best movies I've watched for the first time this year. I really, really enjoyed it. I now own it because I watched it. I bought it for this, so I will watch it again. Very much enjoyed. Boatman, I give it 4 stars. So Boatman, your take.
Yeah, no, this cast is great. I was shocked to learn that this movie isn't based on a play. Like, it feels like it was based on a play a little bit, not like the bad way, but like just like it feels like it could have been based on a play. It's very like playish dialogue, but no, it's an original screenplay. Portier is, I think, the best performance in the movie on most recent rewatch. I used to think Tracy was the best performance in the movie, but I think Portier is doing so much by doing so little. Like, a lot of his acting is just in a laugh or in a smile or in a look. Like, it's not a lot of flashy acting, but it's a really great performance. But don't get me wrong, Tracy is great, Hepburn is great. I think Catherine Houghton kind of has a thankless job in the movie, but she does a really good job with it. Like, she kind of just has to be this ray of positivity and everything else that is going on. Like, she's kind of this force that makes everything else happen. And there are others. I really like Cecil Kellaway in this. He's a lot of fun. I just love the little moment when he sings the Beatles song, "We Can Work It Out." Yeah. Like, that's great. The whole movie's just like, that's the thing, is this movie tackles a very heavy subject, but it's able to also have these little moments of brevity that I think really work, where it's a true dramedy, in my opinion, and that it's not really trying to go for one thing. It's just kind of trying to be, okay, here's a situation, let's look at it. And I really like that. Stanley Kramer, I think, is just one of, like, I don't know why he doesn't get talked about in terms of like top tier directors of like that era, because he has made so many incredible movies that I really like. I think a lot of his work is a little underseen. But like, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, The Defiant One, Judgment at Nuremberg, Inherit the Wind, all great. So yeah, 4.5 for me.
All right. Payson, did you get a chance to watch this?
Yes, and what I will say is there are serious faults in Stanley Kramer's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, but they are overcome by the virtues of this delightfully old-fashioned film. It would be easy to tear the plot to shreds and catch Kramer in the act of copping out, but why? On its own terms, this film is a joy to see, an evening of superb entertainment. This was Roger Ebert's review of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which I read because I did, unfortunately, not.
Okay. I was like, that sounds.
I was like, I know you're reading something. What are you reading?
Okay, fair enough. Jack, did you get a chance to watch it?
I have 7 minutes and 37 seconds of that movie left. I watched it just before going on call with you guys. And the way it's trending right now, it's 4.5, could go up to a 5. Like, it's just such a great movie. Like, the scene you've talked about earlier where Katharine Hepburn fires that lady is just great. I cheered a little bit when I saw that scene. But the scene that really I think right now is my favorite is when Sidney Poitier is talking with his fiance's father, sorry, that's wrong. No, is when he's talking to his father. I'm dumb. Yeah. And Poitier just like kind of says, "Nope, stop talking. You've said your piece. It's my turn to talk." And when he just says everything that he's been wanting to say to his father, it honestly brought me to tears a little bit. And I'm I can't wait to finish this movie. It's such a good movie. I don't have anything really bad to say about it. For me right now, favorite performance is either Sidney Poitier or Katharine Hepburn. This was my first ever Katharine Hepburn movie, so I can't wait to see more of her movies. Yeah, nothing bad to say about it. Great movie.
All right. So that'll do it for us today for Logged It. Bowman, I know we decided on topic for next week, but I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
What was it? It was something you came up with.
I don't
Stall, and I'll find it.
So anyway, next week we're going to be doing something. I just want to give a heads up. The last week of this show will actually be November 30th for the year. We're going to take December off. It's the same week as the final episode of YLS. So we've got 4 more episodes left for us to talk in November, or 4 more episodes. November's got 5 Tuesdays in it. So
live action animation hybrids.
That's right. So that's next week. And we'll put out a post tomorrow with the topics for the rest of the month. Me and Boatman will get those out to you guys. So if you're interested in being on the show in November, that'll be then. And then we'll probably do something in December, but it won't be this show. Like we might do a Christmas watch along or something like that in the month of December, but it won't be logged but it might be something fun that we'll do on one of those nights, on one of these nights. But otherwise, this has been a fun one. I enjoyed this. Jack, you did good. You didn't piss me off too much. So good job. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week with, like Boatman said, live action animated hybrids. Go see Eternals this weekend, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, good evening.